let's put those to the side and talk some footy, shall we? Because Fremantle got the last signature that was so key for them, David Mundy. After Nat Fyfe signed late last week, all of our minds turned to would Mundy follow suit. He signed for 3 more years, so he's a docker for the journey.
I feel like I'm a fairly loyal person, and to be able to repay the club with my entire career potentially is obviously a big thing. And again, I think it's one of those things that in 20 years' time I'll look back on it and be very proud that I could ply my trade for Fremantle. I didn't want to rush this decision. It's a major life decision, not just football decision. So, I don't apologise for taking my time and taking the time I felt like I needed to come to this decision. But definitely the pull to move closer to my family was definitely one of the major factors that I was considering. Pretty comfortable with the 3 years as it stands. As I said, I think it was just about, I don't think, it was about life choices. I'm not thinking about in 2 years' time or in 4 years' time. I'm thinking in 10 years what's best for me and my family, and the best way for me to support my family at this stage was to stay in Fremantle, and I'm more than happy to stay here. I love playing my football here, and obviously very grateful that Fremantle gave me my shot 10 years ago, so I'm just hoping to repay that faith.
Just as Nat Fyfe did last week, David Mundy joins us on AFL 360. David, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Just give us an insight. There was still uncertainty late last week in the way that you spoke. How has it come to pass that you were able to commit today?
Well, I didn't want to kind of talk myself into a pigeonhole last week, I guess. I was just being quite open and honest about the thought processes that have been going on for me and my wife over the last kind of 4 months, and something that we really heavily considered, and we just wanted to have a really rounded kind of view on the whole picture. And I don't think that we rushed to any kind of decision late last week or early this week. This definitely has taken its time to get to where we're at, but we're happy with the decision.
How strong was the lure now that it's all settled? How close were you to trying to come back to Victoria?
Yeah, each time I've come out of contract, it's been a great opportunity to really reflect of where my life's at and where it's going, and what kind of options are available to me. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I did have a few choices, and so that lure and that pull to come home has always been strong with me. But as I said earlier today, I feel like the Fremantle Football Club is a great environment to be playing my football in, and I think I've been able to get the best out of myself, and I don't see myself flying up anytime soon, and I'm just really fortunate to be able to play at a great club.
David, congratulations. If you had have come back to Melbourne, would you have only gone to a successful club? I guess we're trying to work out how this free agency thing's going to play out in years to come. So what was going through your mind?
Yeah, personally, I've gone through some dark days at Fremantle where we were really struggling to get some on-field success. So definitely to be part of a great club and a successful on-field club is one of the key factors into this decision. And I'm fortunate that Fremantle are in that position. But yeah, that was one of my main factors, regardless of where I ended up. It was one of my major contributing factors to my decision.
And other than family and friends, was there anyone at the footy club that you sought out, either player or coach, to get advice on this, or did you just make it a real personal decision?
No, there was no real football orientated, I guess, guidance in this decision. This was, as I said, purely a life decision, and something that I think is best for my family and best for my football moving forward. So I definitely consulted my wife. Obviously, she's wears the pants in this relationship for sure, and we, as I said, we've been really deliberating over this decision for a long time.
So you're 29 later this month. It's good going to get a 3-year contract. Just physically, this sort of locks you in for the long haul in the final stages of a career, I suppose. Were you confident that 3 years was a measure that you were going to be able to fulfil? Yeah,
absolutely. I've been fortunate enough, injury-wise, to never have anything too significant, barring one kind of syndesmosis ankle, which is obviously a contact injury. So I've been very fortunate thus far in my career with soft tissue type stuff and anything too serious joint-wise. So I feel like I definitely feel like 3 years will be I'll still be at the top of my game at the end of it. So what comes after that, we'll see.
What are you hoping for in this phase of your career, in the 3 years that'll take you through to your early 30s?
Yeah, obviously getting a taste of the Ultimate last year was, very enticing and something that has really stuck in the back of my mind, especially through last summer and this season so far. So that's obviously the goal for every AFL player, and I feel like at the moment we have the individual tools to kind of get it done. It's just about getting all those tools on the one page and being a cohesive unit.
You're obviously happy to stay with Ross. He's a demanding coach, isn't it? We saw it just after the siren, even though you'd had a win again on the weekend. There was things he didn't like, and he was happy to tell you guys straight away.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the culture that we've really bred over here over the last few years. We really thrive on that kind of honest feedback. Each individual understands that it's not personal, it's about the behaviour that we're trying to correct, and as I said, we really thrive on it. I find that if I don't give or receive some of those sprays, then my wife cops it when I get home, so they're healthy. They're very healthy.
And there's a lot of discussion these days about tall midfielders, and you're one who always gets brought up. I think from memory you played a fair bit of footy in defence just when in your younger days, coming into the AFL. But did you always think you were going to be a midfielder, and what's your own thoughts on that, being a taller midfielder and a bigger body, how that helps?
Yeah, it's obviously got its advantages, but then on the flip side it also has its disadvantages, which I don't want to obviously go into too thoroughly. But originally I was drafted as a fullback into Fremantle and spent my younger years on the list playing a halfback kind of rebounding role, and just found myself evolving out of that role. And yeah, Mark Harvey had the foresight and the guts to throw me in the midfield and give me a crack, and I think in my first 1 or 2 years in there, he would have been, regretting that decision a little bit. But I feel like I've repaid the faith in the last couple of years, and I've really found a bit of a niche in there, and I feel like I'm going okay. So, I'm really thankful and really fortunate that he had that kind of foresight.
Yeah, I reckon we probably all feel like you're going just a touch better than okay. Well done, congratulations, and may these years at Fremantle see you thrive.
No worries. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
David Mundy, who has signed for 3 more years.
I'd love to know what those downsides are of being a tall midfielder. He seems to handle it pretty well.